Good morning, everyone. My name's Lauren, and I work for a company called Kooth. So over the next kind of half an hour, I'll just take you through exactly how Kooth supports young people in Somerset. And then, as we said, we've got time for any questions and answers at the end. So good morning. I'm just going to share my screen. Bear with me one moment. Hopefully everyone can see this. If not, please do let me know. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, so Kooth, some of you might have heard of it before, some of you may never have heard of it at all, but essentially we are an online mental health and wellbeing support service for children and young people. Now, we have a fantastic commission in Somerset, so we are commissioned for young people by the Somerset CCG from 11 up to the 19th birthday. So from the 11th birthday right up to the 19th birthday, they can use Kooth free of charge as it is commissioned in Somerset, which is fantastic. So just to give you a bit of a background really to Kooth, we were founded back in 2001 to help break down that stigma attached to mental health services and really give all young people that accessible mental health support that they all really need. So our support is online, it's completely free, it's safe and it's anonymous, and it's on a self-referral basis. So that basically means they don't have to go on any waiting list. If they want to use Kooth, they can just log on and get that support, which I'll tell you about more later on. So Kooth is our flagship service that we've won awards for delivery. We are a fully integrated service and we also provide gateways to other services if is what was needed for that young person. So if our counsellors that are talking to that young person, they're all fully qualified and BACP registered. If they thought that face-to-face counselling would be more appropriate, they would just signpost to a local service for them. So whatever the needs of that young person is. We also find that due to the anonymous nature of Kooth, that we do attract young people with a range of needs from a variety of different backgrounds. You know, maybe young people that wouldn't necessarily feel like they could talk to somebody face to face. Actually, they do feel like they can with Kooth because nobody essentially knows it is them and they feel much safer doing so. But I'll talk about that more in a moment. So we are online counselling and wellbeing support. So if the young person wanted to, they could have a text-based chat with one of our practitioners. So it's not phone, not video, it's all through a text-based chat. Now they can have a live chat session, so they are online 365 days a year. If they wanted to have that live chat, they are online between midday and 10 p.m. on weekdays and 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. on weekends. So it's an out of hours service. You know, all they need to do is log on between those times and they can speak to one of our online practitioners should they want to. There is also just a message facility. So if it's essentially just like an email, so they can just message one of the team 24 hours a day. They write down kind of how they feel, and then one of them will get back to them within 24 hours. So one of the team will with support, usually that same day if they can. So there's the two different ways they can speak with the online team. So the first 3 sessions that they have are assessment based, and that will build a picture of any kind of presenting needs that young person needs. And then after those kind of 3 sessions, they will then be risk assessed. So they risk assess under red, amber or green. And if that young person is of a higher need, they will be automatically assigned a counsellor and they'll have structured ongoing support with that counsellor. Okay. And they can have up to an hour a week for 6 sessions, just as you would in a face-to-face sessions, and then that is then reassessed after that. But at any point, if they need support, they will get it. Okay. So this is just a nice little fact here. 77% felt it was somewhat or very true that they were more likely to seek help for mental health issues after using Kooth. So that's quite a nice one. Okay, so as I said earlier, we are commissioned in Somerset for 11 to 18-year-olds, so up to that 19th birthday, they can use Kooth free of charge. Okay, and if you do have any questions after today, there is a parents and carers at kooth.com email, but as I said, I'm happy to answer any you have. So just a few statistics here, just to point out, we're now in about 85% of England and Wales now, so commissioned in the majority of England and Wales, and we're even going into Scotland and Ireland. 94% of children and young people would recommend Kooth to a friend, and then over 3,500 children and young people log on to get support from Kooth each day. And just to add some kind of localised facts, I looked up from our last quarter, so from October to December, we had a total of 739 service users from Somerset using Kooth, with 3,637 logins. So that gives you a good idea of how well it is used in Somerset. Okay. So to sign up to Kooth, it is really easy. All that young person needs is a web-enabled device. Okay, so as long as that device has the internet, so that can be a phone, tablet, computer, they can log on and get support. So it is a website and not an app, so they do need to log on to kooth.com, and once they do that, they will see this landing page. So they can watch a little video, it's just a summary of what's on Kooth, or they can click join Kooth. It is very simple, but any support I think around that sign up process is really important if they need it. So we ask a few very simple questions, and they do need to sign up to use Kooth, but this literally takes, less than a minute, and it will not identify who they are. I think that's really important that we point that out. We ask just the area they live, so that would be North Somerset and the town, and they can share that if they want to. We then ask the year and month that they're born. That means that they'll see age appropriate content, but don't tell them that. We then ask the gender they associate with and their ethnicity. We then ask them to pick a username and password, and at that point I always remind young people when I'm talking to them, please don't use your names or nicknames, just so they remain completely anonymous, but also easy to remember. We don't take email addresses, so we can't remind them of what they are, so to make them unidentifiable, but also really easy to remember. And a lot of devices now just store those passwords, don't they? So once they've done that, they're then logged on. As I said, that literally takes less than a minute. Then they can log on and get access whenever they need it. Okay. So what I'll do is after I've done the presentation, I'll actually just log on to the site so you can see it. I think actually seeing it is really helpful as well. So we do a full range of support. There is, no problem too small. We're from prevention right through to supporting the most vulnerable. Can't get my words out. So the early intervention, if that young person is just having some worries or problems, and they might want just to go on to Kooth for all of the different things that are on there, so they can goal set and write a journal. So each time they log in, they can write down how they feel. That's a really good thing of of managing your mental health, writing down how you feel, and that's also really good at picking up on any trends. So they're the self-help resources that we have on offer on the site. There is also a really great community support. So whether young people going through exactly the same things that they might be, and actually this is probably the largest area of the website, there's activities, so many activities that they can do to look after their mental health and well-being. So there's 22 of those activities on there, and they're really nice, simple activities, really age applicable for all ages. There's our discussion board, so it's our forum where young people can post their own kind of pleas for support, and other young people can then comment and give them support. But everything is pre-moderated, so everything's checked by our moderation team before it's made live, so all the content is safe, supportive content. And there also is a magazine as well with lots of self-help content written by our professionals and other young people sharing their own experiences and stories. So there's some really great content on there. And again, not all of this is just about mental health. Some young people just want to go on and talk about what game they played last night, you know. It's not just about mental health, but it's a really great community for them to be involved in, and a safe community. And also we have, as I said, the counselling, so the practitioner intervention, so they can have that live chat between those times, or they can do that message, as I said earlier. So we really are from start to finish, whatever the needs of that young person. So when a counsellor first enters in a conversation with a young person, they will ask them to fill out this assessment tool. So as I said, they get assessed initially. So this is a really great thing, really, for you know, our practitioners to really understand what is going on for that young person and what you know needs there are for support. So also just to mention safeguarding, being an anonymous service, we get asked this all the time. So safeguarding is the core principle of Kooth and everything that we do at Kooth. We have you know, an excellent safeguarding team that respond to all concerns raised by staff and service users, and there is always a safeguarding lead on hand to support all of our practitioners. Our online safeguarding is a balance of skillful engagement, robust clinical governance and clear protocols and guidance. Now, where there is a cause for concern, so you know, if one of our practitioners was worried about the safety of the service user, they would encourage them to, you know, share some personal identifiable information with them, so we can then best work with partners and other services to keep them safe. However, if that young person does not want to share their personal details, they don't have to. They are in control and they share what they want to share. So if that was the case, we would still continue to work with them. We wouldn't turn around and say, you know, sorry, we can't work with you because you're not willing to share your personal details. And actually our practitioners will continue to keep them safe. And the fact that they're even speaking to them, you know, is a really great protective factor as well. So just to mention as well, you know, Kooth ensures that we meet web accessibility guidelines. So that would, you know, cover any young people with visual and hearing loss and impairments, limited movement, language and speech disabilities, photosensitivity and learning disabilities and cognitive limitations. We also really encourage that if a young person needed support in logging in and signing up and using Kooth, that parents certainly are able to support that young person or any workers if necessary, but just to obviously let the counsellor know if somebody is doing so. But you know, just at the same time, we also appreciate that it is a text-based interaction service and it may not be, you know, suitable for every young person out there. So just looking at the time, I'm just going to quickly log on to the website. I think that's a really useful tool actually for you to see the website, and then we'll take some questions. So bear with me while I just log on to the actual website. Okay, so hopefully in a second you can see that. So once a young person has logged on, so this is after that sign up process, this is what they will see. So this is the home page, this is the journal at the top. They can select an emoji, how they're feeling, a few words of why they're feeling that way. And as I said, that's really good at picking up on any trends. So there's also the mini activities, which I mentioned. These are really lovely activities that young people can do. They're really simple. I won't go into them, but, you know, practice asking for help, dance like nobody's watching. A really popular one is make your own coping box and create a good mood playlist. You know, these are really simple things that, you know, we all can do to look after our mental health and well-being. It can really help change our mood, really simple things. And they take that young person through step by step what they need to do. They can then say if they've tried the activity, they can comment and say how they found it. But they're really nice little activities for them to try. So as well, there's pretty much a quick link on everything on the home page. So you've got the magazine, the forum, the chat, but I'll show you that from at the top here. So this is our magazine. This is a really great resource for young people. They might not need to come on to speak to a counsellor, but just the magazine itself is a great resource. There's articles about pretty much anything, whatever that young person's interested in. So just to show you here, so they're all kind of split down into different categories. They might be going through something in particular, so actually they want to come on and get some support around a mental health illness. Just to give you an idea, anxiety is obviously very popular with young people at the moment, with anyone at the moment. So there's lots of support here around anxiety. So our professionals are writing content, or young people are writing their own experiences and sharing these. But just as a reminder, everything's checked. And then, as you can see here, young people can then comment if they want to. So I'll click onto that article, and at the bottom here, you'll see young people are then commenting and sharing, or they've said that they found it really helpful, or they're sharing their own experiences, and then other young people are then replying and giving them support. So it's a really nice community, and the peer-to-peer support is a really large area of the site, and we know that young people find it really helpful. So there's pretty much categories about everything, hobbies, interests, education. So actually they just want to come on and read about film, TV and music. That's absolutely fine. There's lots and lots of content on here, hundreds and thousands of articles. So I think it's a really great resource. They can star their favorite articles, and then they all fall into their favorites here. So essentially this is like their own little magazine, but a really nice way to get support. The middle one is the forum. Again, young people can start their own discussion. So actually they're going through something that they want other young people to help and give them support, or they just want to write what they, watched on TV last night, whatever they want to do. They can search through the different categories, so it's easier to find, actually they're a young carer and they want to, read about what other young carers are writing about. So everything's kind of split down into those different categories, and there will be support for pretty much everything on here. And then as you can see, there's young people that then comment and give them support, or they might just want to read through the different posts and comment and give support to other young people. But our forum is really popular. We have live forums that happen once a week. You can see an example of this here, where we have all the comments moderated in real time. So we have a number of staff that come on, lead the discussion and moderate those comments in real time. And they're about all different topics, and all the young people come on at 7:30 and get involved in that discussion, but they are really popular, and they're promoted on the site beforehand. And just to finalise, this is pretty much all on the homepage as well, but a link to everything else on here, including the activities, the goal setting. They can meet the team if they want to, just a small little bio on each of our team members. And then finally here, this is where they would come for a chat. So at midday, the live chat button would be here, where they could join that chat queue. And I would say the earlier they log on, the better. As you can imagine, some evenings gets really busy and they might be waiting a long time for a chat. Or if they're logging on at 8, 9 o'clock, and our counsellors log off at 10 o'clock, they may not well get a chat. So we really encourage, when you're talking to your child or young person about this, please encourage them to log on as early as possible. They're online from midday, and I would say the earlier that they log on, the quicker really they're going to get that chat. They can also just send a message, as I said, which is essentially just like an email, and they can offload here and send that message, and someone will get back to them within 24 hours, usually that same day. So I think that's a quick fly through tour of Kooth there. I hope you found that useful. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen and then open it up to any questions